Alrighty, I figured it out. I didn't save my settings from the last Among Us stream, so I was still on normal latency instead of ultra low latency, which is what I was running on for less stream delay. So that's my bad. I mean, if we really want as close to live reaction as we're gonna get, obviously we want minimal stream delay. So my apologies, but we are back. I think this is. Nope, that's not the right one. Did I not get Oh, did I spell? I spelled round wrong. Okay, off to a phenomenal start. Man, this is alright. There can never be a stream without some issue or another, right? I mean, it's just how this stuff works. All right, let me fix that real quick. Apologies for my bad spelling. Although I have very much been as I've been working on stuff today. My spelling has not been particularly great. So please do forgive. There we go, much better. Okay. Alright, let's get it started. There we go. Ain't no way they got Eminem. Yeah, let's go! Eminem's coming out with Good Now, let's go! That's so cool. Oh no. Oh, please no. You had me until you didn't. There he is. Okay, I like the pick of Eminem to come out. I think that's sick. But I don't know about whatever they're about to do. Oh, thank goodness. He was capping. All right, we're fine. He said he was gonna do a rap battle with Eminem on stage, and I'm really glad they're not doing that. Yes, sir. Oh no way! They brought out Goff and Amon Ra and Aiden Hutchinson. Wow. Calvin Johnson? They got Barry too? Yo, this is dope. This is sick. I gotta say, they're killing it. They're really, like, embracing the location for this one. ironic that it's Megatron and Barry though, who both had retired early. That and get you a hype man like Amon-Ra St. Brown. get you a hype man like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah. Wow. This is it. I'm loving the energy. Bring him up. Bring him up. The moment he walked back up, they started booing. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. Alright, I don't expect this one to take very long. Although maybe they'll play some mind games and although I always wonder, like, why do teams, like, if it is like 100% set in stone who they're taking at number one, like, why do they wait the clock out? Like, it just seems unnecessary. Like, I mean, they're probably fielding offers. That's probably part of it. Is they're just like, if someone gives us like 6 first-round picks, like we'll give it to them. But I mean, I would assume that's got something to do with it. But yeah, I don't exactly know why teams drag it out. If like we know the Bears are taking Caleb Williams, so like, I mean, the only thing I can see is like they're giving other teams time to like question their decisions. Like they're trying to like give other teams like the opportunity to like second guess themselves and like overthink it, which could be a decent play, depending on who it is. I mean, they've got Washington at 2, New England at 3, Cardinals at 4, Chargers at 5, Giants at 6. So, sorry, that's my. Oh, you guys actually couldn't hear that because I have my sound muted. That's lovely. All right, I just installed a new ad blocker. It's telling me I've already blocked this many ads. I have not opened that many websites, so that's kind of surprising. So, obviously, this is an interesting situation for the Bears. They're talking right now. They brought in DeAndre Swift in the offseason. They brought in Keenan Allen. They already had DJ Moore. So he's got weapons. Cole Kmet at tight end. He's got weapons. The offensive line, it was kind of shaky with Fields, so the offensive line was suspect with Fields, so you know I wouldn't be surprised if, depending on who's available at 9, they go O-line. I mean, if like one of the big receivers is there at 9, they could also just absolutely load out, the receiving core. Because I could see them going in with the mentality of like, we cannot have this be Justin Fields all over again. We gotta give this guy weapons. But at the same time, one of the big problems with Fields, well, not with Fields, but with Fields at quarterback, was the fact that they couldn't always protect him particularly well. So, there's also talk and speculation of offensive linemen going around that 9-10 range. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go O-line with that pick either. Yeah. As for dinner, I have not eaten dinner. I probably won't be eating dinner unless I decide to get like DoorDash or something. I have not eaten dinner. Got up, had lunch, didn't do stuff, then did do stuff, and now we're doing NFL draft coverage. So here we are. Alright, half the time gone on the pick. The way they're describing it, on the coverage is like there's like a 0% chance they go with anybody other than Caleb Williams. So they did draft Darnell Wright last year on the O-line. They have they drafted him as a tackle. They moved him to guard. I wanted the Giants to get him a couple of years back. Oklahoma State. What the frick is his name? Why can't I remember? I feel so bad that I can't remember this. Bears offensive line. Tevin Jenkins. That's who it is. They took Tevin Jenkins a couple of years ago. Pick is in. Pick is in at number 1. Caleb Williams is overwhelmingly likely to be a Chicago Bear. And then things get weird. Things get weird directly after this first pick, because for the longest time the Commanders were going to take Drake May, and now people are saying they're going to take Jaden Daniels. So this is where things get interesting after this pick closes out. Commanders are already been on the clock for about a minute. Let's see how this turns out. I'm very intrigued to see what happens here, because depending on what kind of quarterback you're looking for, depending on who goes number 2, certain teams might want or not want to trade up for number 3 to try and get Daniels or May, depending on who's there. So I'm very interested to see what happens after this first pick goes in. All right, here we go. There it is. All right, it's official. Caleb Williams to the Bears at number 1. Not sure how long it's going to take for the website to update. I'm sure it won't take long. There it is. Wow, that was very fast. All right. Caleb Williams, number 1. Washington on the clock at number 2. For the longest time, it was set in stone that it was going to be Drake May. Recently, there's been discussions of Jaden Daniels. But the general idea, especially after they traded Sam Howell, was they did trade Sam Howell, right? I'm pretty sure. Oh, Caleb's hype. He's very hype. All right. He's hype. He's very excited. You normally don't see the number 1 pick like really hype and excited like that. This is. If I'm a Bears fan, I'm hyped with that. It's like he really wants to be there. He's really excited about it. So I'm happy if I'm a Bears fan, just based off that reaction. You know, it's good to see. Hopefully they don't kill him. All right. But yeah, the general consensus has been that whether it's May or Daniels, Washington's taking a quarterback at number 2. We will only see the replay of this first pick going through about 26 times throughout the rest of the evening. So everybody brace yourselves. All right. It's a good looking offense, man, for Chicago. I think at this point, it comes down to the offensive line. Can the offensive line hold up? Because they got weapons. They got weapons. Nobody can deny that they got weapons. So if the line holds up and Caleb is as advertised, that team should maybe not immediately turn around, you know, as they're gelling and getting used to things, but they got weapons. So all right, Washington's been on the clock for about 5 minutes already. Let's see where they go. They seem to be taking their time. So I'm very interested to see where it goes from here, man. Because it's kind of a toss-up. It is kind of a toss-up from 2 and beyond. We don't know who's trading up where. We don't know who's taking who. We don't know where certain people are going. For a long time it was alright. Marvin Harrison at 4. Now he might drop lower. We don't know. We don't know. There's not really a consensus on what's happening here. So I'm interested to see how things go. I'm sure Washington's probably fielding calls if people are calling in, just to see if anybody's got a massive package to trade up for May or Daniels. So I am interested to see where they go with this pick. Got about 3.5 minutes left on the clock. I suppose it doesn't necessarily matter if it's May or Daniels, because whoever's left is probably going 3 to the Patriots. But there was a shift, because for a long time it was like consensus Drake May, bing bang boom, enough said. But there's been some talk recently of Jaden Daniels at 2. And they're certainly using a lot of their time, so I'm sure they're, seeing if, anyone's going to throw them a massive haul to move up. But very interested to see where they go here. because nothing is really set in stone beyond number one. If the position is, the player is not. So I am very interested. There's people who are very high on Drake May. There's people who are very low on Drake May. So I don't think it's a guarantee necessarily that Drake May goes here too. There is a young man who was somehow involved with like holding a mic or something for Caleb Williams, and he looks very, very upset. Like he is, he's really, really upset. All right, pick is in. Pick is in at number 2 for the Commanders. Is it Drake May? Is it Jayden Daniels? Do they defy the odds and go with somebody else? Probably not, but you never know. It's the NFL draft. That's why we love the draft. Random stuff happens. All right. Pick is in. New England's clock has started. Let's see what is going on. They're showing the Dwayne Haskins pick from a couple years ago. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, man. Terrible tragedy. Alright, does that mean it's go time? Maybe? Is it go time? Where's the commish? Where's the commish? There he is. Alright, here we go. It was Jayden Daniels. Okay. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I was expecting them to take Drake May, but there has been talk of interest in Jayden Daniels, so it's not super surprising. But there we have it. Jayden Daniels, number 2 to the Commanders. Man, did he have a rise. I mean, he was maxing out around 4 for a while. 4 or 5, and you know, that was more of a, these teams are desperate for a quarterback than, you know, this is the second best player in the draft. But alright, Jayden Daniels, number 2 to the Commanders. Drake May is still on the board for the Patriots at 3. We'll see if they go. I would assume they probably will. I mean, they got rid of Mac Jones. Their best quarterback currently is what, Bailey Zappi? And if they don't take one here, I'm sure they'll take one later. But if there is no trade, I would assume that this will be Drake. I'd be very surprised if it was not, assuming they don't decide to trade down. Although some people mocked a trade up for someone to grab Drake May at 3. So, somebody mocked the Giants up to 3. Let's see, this is, like I said, you know, the positions were somewhat certain for 1, 2, and 3, but it was more the particular player that wasn't set in stone for 2 and 3. At this point, like I said, if there is no trade, I would assume that Drake May is a Patriot. And then that is where the fun begins. I mean, on paper, Marvin Harrison at 4 makes a lot of sense if you have peak Kyler Murray, right? If Kyler Murray's at his best, I think Marvin Harrison makes a lot of sense. He just lost Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs. I think that would make a lot of sense. I mean, they drafted who'd they draft last year? They drafted a tackle, Paris Johnson. So they were working to protect Kyler Murray. So it might be a little early to take a tackle or an offensive lineman, but I wouldn't necessarily be too surprised. This is interesting. I've seen mocks of Harrison falling a bit, so we'll see. My dad is real time messaging me about things. All right, pick is in for the Patriots at 3. Sam Darnold was out of USC, right? I'm not making that up. Yep, Sam Darnold was USC. My dad's saying USC quarterbacks suck. You were right about Sam Darnold. I didn't watch enough college football last year to really form a judgment about anybody. So I can't say like, oh, I think May is better than Daniels or blah blah blah. I'm a casual. I did not watch enough college football to make an informed decision of who is better or who deserved to be picked where. I mean, listen, it's the NFL. If you think you have a guy, you go and get your guy. And then it either works or it blows up in your face. So, I mean, listen, for Washington, they really have nothing to lose here. I mean, you got rid of your only somewhat competent quarterback in the offseason. You pretty much told everybody you were going to take a quarterback. All right, here comes Goodell with the Patriots pick at 3. Guessing it's going to be Drake May. Yep. All right. Drake May to the Patriots. Not terribly surprising. If he slid past the Commanders, the Patriots were going to scoop him up. So, no real surprises so far. Depending on how you viewed May and Daniels compared to each other. You know, some people had May at 2, some people had Daniels at 2, but no real surprises so far. Again, like I said, it's pretty much set in stone. The first 3 picks were going to be quarterbacks. The question was who would go at 2 and who would go at 3. So Drake May to the Patriots. Again, like I said, not a whole lot to say. Not a whole lot to say about that. We kind of saw this coming if he fell past Washington. So, yeah. All right. Arizona on the clock at 4. Yo! My dad does not like the Drake May thing. Yo, what's up, dude? How you doing, boss? Good to see you. Yeah, my dad, for quite some time, has been very out on Drake May. I mean, for months he's been telling me how much he thinks Drake May is overrated. And I mean, listen, if you think now, obviously hindsight is 2020, and with games and seasons having been played and such, um, things change. But for the longest time, there was zero competition at the top of the draft. It was Caleb Williams was number one, and then there was no one even in his realm. And then May climbed, and then Daniels climbed, and then most recently J.J. McCarthy has climbed. It happens with quarterbacks. It just does. There's no reason to really explain it, especially since I don't remember how many of these guys did drills at the combine, so it's not like the combine made a major difference. I mean, it happened with Zach Wilson a couple years ago. He shot up to the second overall pick when he had no business doing that. And, I mean, look at, he's in Denver now. He's been absolutely woeful for the Jets, and now he's in Denver. So, it's just one of these things that happens during draft season. I don't understand it. I never have, how certain quarterbacks shoot up draft boards. Like, literally nothing has changed. You haven't seen anything else from this person. And yet they rise just because they're a quarterback. It's just kind of what happens. And here it happens to multiple people. Happened to May over a long period of time. Happened to Daniels over the past couple of months or so. And over the last month, it's been J.J. McCarthy, who's been rising very rapidly. If the Giants take J.J. McCarthy at 6th overall, I think both me and my father will be. I don't know if there's words to describe the feeling. Anyway. I haven't watched him enough to form a judgment, but I know you've been very vocal about he's criticizing people saying that May could be the best quarterback in the draft because he's always been very out on Drake May. How's college treating you? It's treating me away. Almost done with the semester though, so that's nice. Pick is in for Arizona at 4. Alright, Marvin Harrison. Not too terribly surprising. Again, if they have Kyler Murray, he's fully healthy, he's at his best. I don't think this is a bad pick. They worked on the offensive line with Paris Johnson last year. Wouldn't have been against. Again, I think 4 is a little early to take another offensive lineman, considering where they're slated to go in this draft. But if Kyler Murray stays healthy and upright, and they can protect him, this is a big-time playmaker for sure. He's got massive big play potential. There were some people concerned about Harrison a little bit, but this was sort of one of those, like, not necessarily confirmed, but the most likely outcome picks. How's Gingy doing? Haven't seen him in a while. He is very involved and absorbed in volleyball. Today's his birthday, actually. Um, Today is his birthday. Yeah, he's very active in volleyball. I haven't seen him too much because I've been away at school. I've seen him a few times when I've been home. Um, yeah, he's doing well, man. I don't know how much I should say about his personal life because obviously I don't want to reveal anything he's not super cool with. Um, but he's had some stuff going on, but he's working through it, and he's putting all his energy into volleyball right now, and he seems to be doing well. I mean, he's turned into a heck of a player, and he's been putting time into his music stuff as well. Um, Put out some bangers. I've got a few of his songs in my playlist. I can't lie. He's been cooking all over the map, man. He's very busy. He's been doing a lot. I believe he wants to go into the Space Force. He's a busy guy, and he's absolutely cooking in a lot of different avenues. So shout out, bro. He's killing the game. Gotta respect it. Alright, yeah. You can get Kyler Murray off of Call of Duty. That's a good pick. If the O-line comes together. Now, of course, that's a big ask for any NFL team, for the offensive line to hold up. But, I'll be honest about equipping the Cowboys, man. Honestly, boss, if I was a Cowboys fan and I was in your shoes, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You don't win Super Bowls by re-signing your long snapper. You just don't do that. It's just not how it works. Anybody in particular you're looking to target at 24? Anyone you would love to have at 24? Signed one dude, and we have a 5. That's right. You guys got Deuce Vaughn last year. That's right. I mean, yeah, running back has quickly become like the most replaceable position in football, to where it's like, it's literally the definition of next man up. Like, paying a running back is, I'm not saying it's never a good move, but it has blown up spectacularly in several recent instances. Todd Gurley, Zeke, you want to bring up like Melvin Gordon. I don't know how much Melvin Gordon got paid, but that kind of thing. Anyone that has 2 brain cells and can pass block. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, he did lose Tyron Smith in the offseason. So, that's understandable that you wouldn't go O-line. A little over 3 minutes to go on pick 5 here for the Chargers. I've seen a lot of Brock Bowers talk at number 5. We'll see if that comes to be, but I've heard a lot about Brock Bowers here, so we'll see. Yeah, I was just texting my dad. You remember when DeAndre Hopkins was on the Cardinals a couple years ago? I kind of see Marvin Harrison in that type of role if things go according to plan. I mean, that was the year that the Cardinals, made the playoffs and then got absolutely trounced by the Rams. But that's kind of what I see Marvin Harrison potentially doing in Arizona. If Murray stays healthy, Paris Johnson pans out on the offensive line, I can see him filling a big, DeAndre Hopkins big play type of, maybe also like, maybe not quite a Justin Jefferson, but that kind of big play threat receiver. I can see, him filling that kind of role. Then to make our chances worse in our division, Saquon to the Eagles. Listen, brother, don't talk to me about Saquon to the Eagles, alright? Listen, the Giants started by doing a whole lot of nothing. Then they proceeded to actually make a couple of moves that I thought were pretty decent. I think Brian Burns is an awesome move. The problem is there's more than like 5 positions on defense, and their secondary is still a mess. Somehow their secondary has been a mess for as long as I've been paying attention to the draft. The secondary has been a need for them forever, and they've tried to repair it. Listen, Deonte Banks is a dog. I'm not going to deny that. But, I mean, look at DeAndre Baker a couple years ago, Eli Apple. There's been some friggin' whiffs. And now Xavier McKinney, who was their only real decent secondary player, just went to the Packers. So, and I was high on him when they took him because he fell out of the first round and he was projected to go pretty highly. I was big on him when they drafted him, and he started to pan out after he had some injury issues to start off, and now he's gone. So the Giants somehow went from bad to terrible. I mean, they were bad, and then they lose Saquon. They lose their best offensive player, and they lose their arguably their best defensive player. If you don't want to count Dexter Lawrence. All right, Chargers at 5. This is where it gets interesting. Apologies, let me refresh the website for you guys. Joe Alt. Okay. Yeah, that was a little surprising to me with Rashawn Slater and Zion Johnson on their O-line already. I mean, I think they have had some injury issues on the O-line. And of course, I mean, listen, you got Jim Harbaugh as your new head coach. It's clear that just about the only thing that's gone right for your franchise over the past couple seasons is Justin Herbert. It's never a bad pick when you try to protect your quarterback. The only thing with LA, again, I don't necessarily hate. My dad just texted me, if the Giants take JJ McCarthy, I'm gonna lose it. I'm glad we share the same mentality on that. I'm glad it's gonna be Daniel Jones all over again, except slightly better because he's not projected to go in the 3rd round this time. But no. Yeah, no. If they take JJ McCarthy, I might end the stream. I'm just saying that right now. If the Giants take JJ McCarthy, I might end the stream. And glad my windows are shut. Nah. But I don't hate offensive line for the Chargers, especially if they've had injuries there. Oh boy. Please don't. Or if you want him, at least trade down. I mean, realistically, they probably can't because someone else is going to trade up and get him. Please don't take J.J. McCarthy. Like, I would say trade down for him, but there's been so, like, if they wanted him to trade down and try and get some picks, but, like, somebody's going to trade up and get J.J. McCarthy. Somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to trade up and take J.J. McCarthy. It's going to happen. He's either going to go to somebody, or somebody's going to trade up and take him early. It's what's going to happen. He's just shot up draft boards for absolutely no reason. Anyway, yeah. I think it's a fine pick for LA. There was a lot of Brock Bowers talk. What I wanted to get to was they have no receivers. Their best receiver is Quentin Johnston, who was a dropaholic last year. Now, of course, that was his rookie year. He could, develop and fix those issues. I'm sure that could be fixed. But, they don't have a lot of receiving weapons. Pick is in for the Giants. Oh boy. Alright. Bears also talking to you. It's been a while. I have to go. If you need anything, you want to catch up, give me a text or call, and I'll answer later. God bless. God bless you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Pick is in. If they took J.J. McCarthy, I am going to... I don't even know. Just please, knowing them, they'll somehow find a way to screw it up worse than J.J. McCarthy. They'll take, like, Spencer Rattler or something. No, do not. Don't you dare. Don't you freaking dare. Please do not take J.J. McCarthy. Please. Please no. Don't you dare. Okay. We live with that. Alright, that's fine. I can live with that. Totally fine. There was a lot of projection of Malik Nabers at 6. The only real question is, who's going to throw to him, right? The quarterback play hasn't been the best. You don't want to... My dad is happy with the outcome. I'm okay. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. I was fully expecting them to take JJ McCarthy. I can't even lie. I was fully expecting them to take JJ McCarthy. Okay. David Gettleman is gone. He can't hurt you anymore. All right. That's fine. We desperately need receiving help. That is not by any means a bad pick. The only question there is, who's going to throw to him. I would much rather have Malik Nabers and, we figure something out at quarterback. Or, Drew Lock steps in and does something. Or, they try to revive Tommy DeVito or something. But you don't spend the 6th overall pick on a freaking quarterback. Not somebody like J.J. McCarthy, anyway. Okay, sigh of relief. I can't even lie. I was fully expecting Goodell to say J.J. McCarthy. I really was. I can't lie to you. I was fully expecting him to say J.J. McCarthy. Okay. I sent my dad the sigh of relief emoji. Where's sigh of relief? Gettleman can't hurt us anymore. Gettleman. Not gentleman. Gettleman. Gettleman is gone. He can't hurt us anymore. Okay. Oh. Open up the suit. Yo! Yo! That's kind of sick. Look at that. He's got all his teammates and stuff. That's cool. That's a sick suit. Paying homage to your college teammates like that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Alright, we got a dog. We got a dog at 6. Okay. I mean, listen, if he follows in the steps of previous LSU wide receivers, he's going to be an absolute menace to society. That's fine. That's fine. They're comparing him to DJ Moore. If he is anything like DJ Moore, we are fine. LSU's just been pumping out wide receivers lately. LSU's like a wide receiver factory, man. I mean, you had Justin Jefferson a couple of years ago. I'm sure they had a couple other people that aren't coming to mind. But, okay. Okay. We live with that. We live with that. Malik Neighbors, that's fine. That's fine. I would have been fine with him. I would have been fine with Roma Dunze. I would have been fine with an O-lineman. But that's fine. Malik Neighbors is fine. We live with that. All right. Tennessee at 7. Pick is in. I have no idea what they're going to do. I'm assuming they're sticking with Will Levis. I mean, they took Peter Skoronski last year, right? They could go O-line again, although Joe Alt is gone. He's like kind of unanimously best lineman in the draft. They could go O-line. They could go wide receiver. I would guess probably O-line or wide receiver would be my guess. I don't think any of the defensive players in the draft were high enough rated to where they go defense here. I don't see them going quarterback. I see them sticking with Will Levis. And I think it's probably O-line or wide receiver. Or I guess they could go Bowers. You know, I feel like they're either going to give Will Levis some protection or they're going to give him some weapons. That's what I see. In whatever form that takes. Could be wrong. Next pick, yeah. My dad says next pick must be O-line. I'm kind of agreeing. I'm thinking it's gotta be O-line or pass catcher. They did take Skoronski last year. What does the rest of their offensive line look like? We'll take a look. Titans depth chart. Alright. Okay, Skoronski's at guard. They did sign Lloyd Cushenberry. I forgot about that. Nobody else here that I'm like really recognizing as a major guy. Oh, they signed Calvin Ridley. I forgot. They signed Calvin Ridley. Oh yeah, no, it's got to be a lineman. It's got to be a lineman. There's no way. Forgot they signed Ridley. I agree. Gotta be a line. I forgot DeAndre Hopkins was there too. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, he was talking about the Giants. Oops. Oh, I thought he was talking about just next pick in the draft. No, he was talking Giants. Giants, my bad. Yeah. Like, what else would the Giants do with a next pick? Okay, I'm interested to see where Tennessee goes here. I'm gonna say O-line. That's where I'm predicting they're gonna go. Let's see. Okay, J.C. Latham. I was right. They do go O-line. Tackle from Alabama. Screw the Titans. Jets gotta keep Rodgers upright. Jets drafting new turf for MetLife. Jets drafting new turf for MetLife Stadium. Hey, listen, as a Giants fan, we'll gladly take that. We'll gladly take the new turf. But, yeah, no. Yeah, Gingy's a Jets fan, for those of you who don't know. Yeah, trying to think, like, with later round picks, what would be the best thing for the Giants to do? I mean, O-line or secondary, I say. Like, you've got Andrew Thomas, who started slow, but he's been better. Not, like, elite, but better. You drafted John Michael Schmitz last year. I think he's fine. Evan Neal's been a mess. And then I don't even know. They just signed John Runyon at guard. They just signed John Runyon. I don't know who else they'd be playing at guard. Let me check. Alright, John Michael Schmitz, John Runyon, Jermaine Illuminor, they're not even starting Evan Neal, Andrew Thomas, and Aaron Stinnie? Yeah, take a lineman. Take a lineman. Alright, okay. Yeah, I can see O-line. I think O-line would be good. I think O-line would make whoever the heck ends up playing quarterback and Malik Nabers better. Maybe Darren Waller can actually play like Darren Waller instead of going full Kenny Golladay. Yeah. The thing is with the Giants, I feel like no matter who they draft in the secondary, it's gonna be a flop. Like, it just seems like it's been that way for so long. Like, Deonte Banks played okay, and Xavier McKinney was good, or he finally broke out, and then of course they lost him in free agency. Like if I go check, I'm gonna go check their depth chart again. Giants depth chart. Let's look secondary here. Nick McLeod, Trey Hawkins, Jason Pinnock, Dane Belton. They signed Jalen Mills. Who's, I'm sure he's okay. Yeah, they got nobody in the freaking secondary. They got no one. They got Bobby Okereke, and the linebackers are good. Linebackers ain't bad. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Bobby Okereke. Very respectable linebacking core. D-line, you got Brian Burns arguably as an edge rusher. Dexter Lawrence. They signed Jordan Phillips from Buffalo. I wouldn't be upset with a secondary pick, but I mean for the Giants, it's just like eventually if you throw enough, if you pick enough linemen, some of them have to be good, right? They just gotta be. They can't all be terrible. But no, I agree with my father. I think O-line is the pick for the next Giants pick. O-line or secondary, and out of things that are more important, I would say build up the offensive line. As for Atlanta here, probably not taking Brock Bowers. They've got Kyle Pitts. Definitely not taking a quarterback. Not 100% sure what they do here. Could go lineman, could go defense. Let's see. Whoa! 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 Hold on. Whoa! Okay. Okay. Holy moly. Okay. Michael Penix to the Falcons. Just remind me, how much money did they give Kirk Cousins? That's what I thought. $180 million. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's getting a little up in age. I'm assuming they're going to like Jordan Love Michael Penix. They're going to have him sit behind Kirk Cousins for a couple of years and then start him once Cousins regresses, retires, whatever. How old is Michael Penix? That's what I really need to know here. Michael Penix Jr. age. He's 23? He's 23? Wow. Shocker. Absolute shocker. You signed Kirk Cousins for $180 million, 4-year deal, and you draft a 23-year-old quarterback at number 8. What are you doing? If you want Penix, trade down. Get some value. I don't get that at all. I mean, unless I'm missing something. Like, you just signed Kirk Cousins. You just gave Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed. And it's not like he's 20, 21. He's 23. Wow. They're betting on Penix being the next, like, Aaron Rodgers. That's, wow. Shocking. Really, really, really shocking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kirk Cousins ain't a spring chicken. But you just gave him so much money. Kirk Cousins' age. He's 35. Wow, he's older than I thought he was, to be fair. Well, hey, I hit one of my pick'ems on Madden Mobile. One of the pick'ems, I think, was 4 quarterbacks in the top 10. And I hit on that, so that's nice. Wow. That's an absolute shocker to me. Unless I'm missing something obvious. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, Kirk Cousins is 35. But you just gave him $180 mil, $100 mil guaranteed, 4-year contract. And Penix is already 23. If he's 21, it makes a little bit more sense. He's 23. I don't understand that at all. All right, Chicago pick is in. Here comes Goodell at 9. I'm predicting Rome Odunze. Gotta be Rome Odunze. Yup, Rome Odunze. Good draft for Chicago, man. Assuming Caleb Williams works out, that's a good draft for Chicago. Only other thing I think they could have done here was go O-line, protect Caleb Williams, but they've got some guys on the O-line. They got Darnell Wright. They got Tevin Jenkins. They got some guys. They have a loaded wide receiver room now, though. Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet at tight end. If that offensive line comes together, this team could be nice. That being said, I can't recall off the top of my head what they have on the defensive side of the ball. They had Montez Sweat. I don't know if they re-signed him, but they did have Montez Sweat, and Montez Sweat was wreaking havoc for them last year. But I don't know if they re-signed him. Okay, Rome Odunze. That one's not. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Minnesota traded up to 10. Holy crap! Minnesota traded up to 10. This is big. They traded up one spot? Whoa. Wow. Why would they trade up one spot? Do they really think the Jets are going to take somebody to replace Aaron Rodgers in a couple of years? Or 1 year or whatever? Or did they think somebody else was going to... Maybe they thought somebody else was going to trade up? Maybe they thought Denver or Vegas was going to trade up? I don't know. I'm flashing back to Trubisky. That's all. I'm flashing back to Trubisky a couple of years ago. Yeah, I just want to look at a comment real quick. I think my dad left a comment. Let's take a look here. Maybe? Or maybe on the previous one. Let me see. Probably this one. Yeah. Penix, but he won't survive. I mean, like, I don't know, man. I mean, we know who We know the Vikings are taking. That's not unless they shock everybody and take like who else? Who else would they take? Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix is the only other like reasonable. Selection, I think, but nah, they got to be taking J.J. McCarthy. All right, here's the details. Vikings get 10 and a 6th. Jets get 11, a 4th, and a 5th. Okay. I mean, I suppose it's not like a top first round pick, so that's why the compensation's not incredible. I'd want maybe a little bit more. And they sent a 6 in the deal. I don't know. I would have wanted more if I'm the Jets, to be honest. The only reason I could see that they trade up one spot is they thought somebody else was going to trade up to 10 and take a quarterback. Because I do not see how the Jets would take a quarterback. I just don't. I see the Jets going O-line. So the only thing I could see is they thought Denver or Vegas or who else needs a quarterback? Who the heck else? Denver or Vegas must have like been poised to trade up with the Jets, and so the Vikings were like, no, I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I don't think the Jets got enough. I think the Jets should have gotten more, to be honest with you. Like, you're trading up one spot. It's still a pretty high first round pick. If the Jets are thinking about Bo Nix or someone else, why would the Vikings move up one spot to get JJ? Only thing I can think of is someone else was gonna trade up with the Jets to take him. So the Vikings beat them. I don't think the Jets were thinking quarterback at all. I mean, I guess I could see it. Aaron Rodgers is old, obviously, but like, I would focus on protecting him right now. I would focus on protecting Aaron Rodgers. The only thing I can think of is, like I said, Denver or Vegas or somebody like that was going to trade up and take McCarthy. And so the Vikings wanted to make sure they got him. But one spot is still kind of like... I mean, listen, if they offered a trade, I mean, the only, like, listen, if you're the Jets and somebody offers you compensation to move down one spot, you take it. They gave up more than a third rounder, that's what happened. They didn't. They didn't. 4th and a 5th. Alright, let's go. He gets us. He gets us. Christian ads on the NFL draft. We'd love to see it. Yeah, that's a head scratcher. I mean, I not the pick. I know we pretty much know who the pick is going to be, unless they shock everybody and take Bo Nix or something. But why one spot? I don't think the Jets were going to take a quarterback. So again, the only thing I could see is they were worried about Denver or Vegas trading up and taking McCarthy. So they traded up one spot, but I don't understand. Go for it, little man. Alright, it was JJ McCarthy. That much we knew. I still don't get the trade, man. I really don't. I still don't get it. It confuses me on a lot of levels. One, I don't think they needed to trade up. Two, I don't think the Jets got enough. I don't get it. I don't get the trade. I don't think the Jets would have taken him at 10. I don't. If the Jets take Nix, it makes sense. Otherwise, not so much. Yeah. If the Jets do take Bo Nix, then maybe I'll understand. Because if they were targeting McCarthy, okay. They take the next best guy in Bo Nix. If they weren't targeting a quarterback, I don't get it. This is interesting now. Because for this trade to make sense, the Jets have to take a quarterback. If they take Nix, it makes a little bit more sense. Because maybe they thought the Jets were going to go for McCarthy. We don't know whether or not they were going to go for McCarthy. Pick is in. Pick is in. But yeah, if the Jets don't take a quarterback, this makes zero sense. And they absolutely did not need to trade up. And again, like, if the Jets do not take a quarterback here, the only thing I can see... NFL comparison, C.J. Stroud? Really? He's played one season. You're going to compare him to Stroud after 1 year? This isn't a fair comparison for either of them. Stroud's played one season. You're going to compare J.J. McCarthy to C.J. Stroud after one season? Whatever. I don't know about that comparison. Yeah, we'll see. This Jets pick is gonna make this make a whole lot more or a whole lot less sense. If they take Nix, it makes more sense. If they don't take Nix, then either Minnesota thought they were getting a good offer, but again, they would have no reason to trade up if the Jets weren't taking a quarterback. The other thing I could see, again, is if someone else, some other team, Denver, Vegas, whoever, wanted to trade up and grab McCarthy. And if that's the case, again, I think the Jets didn't get enough. I don't think the Jets got enough for trading down one spot. We'll see who it is. Bo Nix would be very interesting because that's 6 quarterbacks in the top 11, which I can almost guarantee you that's never happened before. And then the next quarterback to be taken would be what? Spencer Rattler? Sam Hartman? I don't know. Am I thinking of the right guy? Sam Hartman? Whatever. Let's see. This is big. If I'm the Jets, I go offensive line, but we'll see. All right, let's see it. Okay. Aluf Fashanu. They did go tackle. Good pick. Good pick for the Jets. Good move on them trading down and getting additional picks. Never hurts to help the offensive line. I mean, they didn't re-sign Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton's been injured to heck. They signed Tyron Smith in the offseason. Fashanu is a very highly rated tackle. Maybe second highest after... Well, no, because J.C. Latham was there as well. But he was in the top echelon of tackles. I don't think it's a bad pick. I'm just still trying to wrap my head around the trade. Because unless, like, the Jets were all in on McCarthy and all out on Bo Nix, and they just went for, like, the next guy, you know, the next guy on their board, but I don't think that was the case. I don't get it. Were the picks in this draft or next draft? Vikings trade. Let's see. Okay. Vikings get 10 and 203. Jets get 11, 129, 157. I don't think they got enough. I really don't. I know it's not like, you know, it's not, you know, a trade up for Trey Lance or Mitch Trubisky or something like that, but, like, I don't think they got enough. I think trading up one spot, you got to get more. You have got to get more, in my opinion. Maybe they gave up less because they recognized that they would probably get McCarthy anyway if they didn't make the trade. But then why would they make the trade? Yeah, this is confusing me. I'm not understanding this at all. Because my thought process is maybe they didn't give up as much because they knew that they could just get McCarthy anyway if he fell, you know, if the Jets didn't take him. But then if they knew they'd get him anyway, then why the frig did they make the trade? None of this is making sense. Please tell me this isn't who I think it is. Oh, it's Taylor Swift. Of course it is. Hi, we know you dropped an album. Nobody will shut up about it. Anyway. Yeah, I don't get it. I do not get that trade at all. But hey. Trying really hard to make the trade make sense, but not upset with tackle. There. Now, Denver. Could be Bo Nix. They just traded for Zach Wilson, who I can almost guarantee they do not want to start. These quarterbacks better be good, or else all these teams are going to be looking stupid. The Jets' number 2 quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. I checked yesterday. Give me 1 second. Hello. I do. What was the pick? It was Knicks. Okay. Alright, I will be back. I need to, I need to help a friend out. So I'll be back in a bit. Alright.
I've just realized the entire time my mic's been on the floor. Oops. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, who's taking who? Next to the Broncos. Don't know if I get that. Why'd you trade for Zach Wilson if you're going to draft Bo Nix? I mean, they didn't give up much for him, but, like, still, like, why? And then Bowers to the Raiders. All the, like, first-round grade quarterbacks are gone. So I guess that makes sense. Just go best player available, I guess. I mean, they got weapons. They got Devontae Adams. Now they got Brock Bowers. I mean, they were okay without great quarterback play last year. Just interested to see, like... I guess that means they're sticking with Aiden O'Connell. So that's interesting. Yeah, they're projecting Saints to go tackle because apparently Ramchek's got a knee injury. That's fine, I guess. I mean, you're getting Kamara for a full season. Michael Thomas probably not because he's Michael Thomas. You got a lot of needs. So, I mean, I guess it never hurts to go offensive line. Let's see. Okay, they go Fuaga. Alright. Fuaga to the Saints. They go tackle. Okay. Colts at 15. Where would the Colts go here? Where on earth would the Colts go here? What's Indianapolis going to do? I'm interested. This could be the first defensive pick. Yeah, they're making a. Rich Eisen just made a good point. Like these teams that are sitting like middle of the draft, teams are arguably really reaching on some of these quarterbacks. So now there's talent that's just falling into these guys' laps. Most of it is defense, right? The best receivers are gone, the best tackles are gone at this point. But yeah, teams down here, like Indianapolis doesn't need a quarterback, Seattle doesn't need a quarterback, Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback, Cincinnati doesn't need a quarterback. Rams, Stafford's getting old. Pittsburgh definitely doesn't need a quarterback. Miami doesn't need a quarterback. Philly doesn't need a quarterback. None of these teams need a quarterback. So it is entirely possible, these guys are targeting, some of those top DBs, a guy like Dallas Turner, Byron Murphy, somebody like that, a solid defensive player. Just trying to think. Indianapolis, they did re-sign Michael Pittman in the offseason. They did not re-sign Zach Moss. I don't think they take a running back. I'm just noting they didn't re-sign Zach Moss. I could see them potentially going O-line to try and protect Richardson. I will take a look at their depth chart before I, elaborate any further. Indianapolis Colts depth chart. Let's take a look. Alright. Quentin Nelson, obviously. Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Braden Smith, Bernard Raymond. I could see them taking a tackle. I don't know if there's any tackles worth taking this high left. Mock draft. I just want to see. I'm going to go to like a mock draft website. See. Yeah, PFF. I select all. Yeah, I'll see. I just want to sort by position. What's that? Alright. Oh, they updated it. They went Laiatu Latu? Wait a minute. Is that legit? Or is that just like speculation? According to this mock draft website, that went Laiatu Latu. There are some good tackles left, though. Troy Fautanu, Amarius Mims, Graham Barton, Tyler Guyton. There's some good tackles left. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to this. Because they're saying it was Laiatu Latu. That's... With his injury concerns, that's very high for Laiatu Latu if they did take him. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, I've seen him falling in a lot of mock drafts because of his injury concerns. Talent-wise, he probably deserves to go around here. But he's been dropping due to injury concerns. Let's see. Okay. That's interesting. I've seen him falling in mock drafts because of his injury concerns. I've heard he's... I don't know too much about this guy. I'm going to be completely honest. I've heard he's very talented, but that he's been falling due to injury concerns. I was not anticipating him going this high. He's the first defensive player off the board. I think we're going to see a run on defense here. Seahawks, they have Geno Smith. They have decent receiving weapons. They got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. I don't foresee them. I suppose they could go O-line, but, I could say that about every team in the NFL. Jacksonville, they just signed... Who did they just sign? No, I'm thinking of the Titans, because they signed Calvin Ridley. They've got Christian Kirk. Bengals, T. Higgins did request a trade. So, potentially they could go with, a Troy Franklin or somebody like that. I wouldn't be shocked to see them go O-line, though. But this may be where we see a run on defense. We'll see. Because there's a lot of very good defensive players sitting there on the board. You got Dallas Turner. You got Byron Murphy. You got all of the top DBs still on the board. Alright. Definitely an interesting first round so far. I feel like it was a little anticlimactic just because I feel like people were projecting a lot more trades than have happened so far. Although Penix to Atlanta was definitely unexpected. A trade up of one spot for J.J. McCarthy was definitely unexpected. And I think 6 quarterbacks in the top 12 was definitely a bit unexpected. So there's been a fair share of excitement. I just would have expected more trades, I guess, by now. If you want a good defensive player, get on the phone. That's, where we are in the draft right now. I think, like I said, I think we could see a run on defense. All of the best defensive players in the draft are still sitting here on the board. Latu was the first one to go. And, again, he was one who fell on a lot of people's boards due to injury concerns. A lot of people were projecting, some DBs, Cooper DeJean, Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, to go before Latu, and then, again, guys like Dallas Turner and Byron Murphy, guys like that. So, I'll be interested to see where teams go. Seahawks pick is in at 16. They're cutting a commercial. Um, yeah, this will be interesting. This will be interesting to see where guys go. Let me move this over here so I can look at chat and watch the draft at the same time. Alright. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Again, I would have expected more trades at this point, but we'll see. Maybe somebody's like, holy crap, how is X player still on the board because of this run on quarterbacks? Somebody wants to jump up again. There's still a lot of good tackles on the board as well. If somebody wanted to jump up and get an offensive lineman, there's still plenty of good offensive linemen on the board. So I'll be interested to see how the rest of the first round pans out. It's definitely been entertaining. So far. Although a lot of the hype around this draft was about where are all these quarterbacks going to go, and they've all been taken already. So it's kind of like, all right, well, people are making logical, sensical picks for the rest of the first round. Potentially, I don't know. Maybe somebody takes Spencer Rattler. I don't know. Maybe somebody takes a friggin' flyer. Maybe somebody decides to trade for Brandon Ayuk. I don't know. Who could use a wide receiver? That'd be interesting if somebody wanted to pull a trade for Brandon Ayuk at this point. I mean, hey, AJ Brown was traded for a pick around here. Might have been a little lower. But AJ Brown was traded for the pick that became Treylon Burks and other stuff. But. All right, pick is in for Seattle. Next on the clock after them is the Jaguars. Byron Murphy. Okay. One of the guys I was mentioning, Byron Murphy. Okay. So yeah, there may just be a run on defensive players here. We'll have to see. Minnesota's pick is in at 17. They traded up from 11 to 10 to take J.J. McCarthy. I'm assuming the Vikings are taking O-line. Their draft is perplexing. Indeed it is. I agree, Father. I agree with your sentiment. Operation Get My Father on NFL Network because he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting game, for sure. Again, not as many trades as I was anticipating, but still been a lot to talk about. To be certain. Alright, Kamish is coming back out. Vikings at 17. My father predicts they're going offensive line. There's still a couple of good offensive linemen on the board. Oh, shoot! Wait, no, they traded up! Ooh. Okay. I didn't realize they traded up. Did they reveal the details of the trade? I want to see the details. Vikings trade. Just says they traded up. That's it. Jaguars acquire picks 23 and 167 in exchange for 17th. What the frig is this value? What is this value? What happened to giving up multiple first round picks to move up? What on earth is this value? Unless that's unofficial. That could be unofficial. I don't know what the actual... There's no way it was that cheap. What's the return on this? What'd they give up? I like the pick of Dallas Turner, don't get me wrong. I think it's a good pick. I think Dallas Turner's a good player. I think this is right around maybe a little bit lower than where he was expected to go. I think it's a good pick. But the Vikings have traded up twice. I'd be interested to see if the details of the trade are finalized. Because just giving up like a fifth to move up like 6 spots, that's not bad at all. I just feel like teams should be getting more for trading down. That's all. And I guess we're at a point in the first round where like the absolute premier talent's off the board, so it's like, less expensive to move up. But I don't know. I would have expected teams to get more for trading down. I could be tripping though, so do keep in mind I could be tweaking. I think that's a good pick for Minnesota, though. I think Dallas Turner's a good player. Interesting that they... See, this is a trade-up that makes more sense to me, though. Especially if what I just saw is, like, true. In terms of, like, what they had to give up to move up. If that's true... Jags also get a 5th round, 3rd round, and 4th round. So, Jordan Schultz just put out false information. Okay. Jaguars moving down to 23. Jaguars also get a 5th rounder, a 3rd rounder, and a 4th rounder. Or a 5th rounder in 24, and a 3rd and a 4th in 25. Wow. They're just shelling out their mid-round picks. Interesting. Do they really think they're in position to contend? Maybe they're just trying to make Justin Jefferson stick around. Look like they're being aggressive and making moves so Justin Jefferson doesn't leave. I mean, I can see it. Bengals pick is in at 18. Very interesting, though. Yeah, they're definitely giving up a lot of mid and late round picks. Not quite as much as I would have expected for where they've traded. See, the trade from 17 to 23 makes a lot more sense. I mean, I know they're next year's picks, but technically, I feel like they got more for 17 than they did for 10. That seems weird. That seems very strange to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not sure. Seems a little odd. But yeah, they're going to have slim draft picks over the next couple of years, without a doubt. But if these picks work out, I mean, I guess it won't matter too terribly much. If they work out, which is a big if, especially on J.J. McCarthy. Because everyone's kind of... The thing that they've been knocking him on is, his limited reps. So, I mean, I suppose... It's not the end of the world. It's not like they gave up future firsts or anything to, go and get him, but I don't know. Again, this draft is a little bit confusing. Sixers winning game 3, up 9 with 35 seconds left, and Embiid shooting free throws. Too much time left. I think there's some energy. All right, Cincinnati at 18. Marius Mims. Okay. That is a large man. Yeah, he's almost 6'8". He's huge. Okay. If they can develop him and turn him into a monster, he's got the frame. He's got the frame, he's got the physical traits to be great on that offensive line protecting Joe Burrow. I don't dislike that pick at all for Cincinnati. I think that's a good one. Tom Grassi's probably a little bit disappointed. Wish he would have fell a little bit. But, yeah, not a bad pick at all for Cincy. Tackles aren't the, big sexy picks, but, I mean, if the NFL has showed us anything recently, it's that you need to have linemen because, I mean, quarterbacks are just getting murdered. I mean, look at, Burrow snapped his leg a couple years ago. You had Tua's and his concussions. If you want to keep your quarterback, you got to keep your quarterback. Look at, Andrew Luck, right? Retired because his body just got broken because he didn't have enough protection. It's absolutely essential that you keep your quarterback upright, and I think kind of a general consensus here of we gotta make sure that looks like the Sixers might win a game. That's nice. If only they weren't down 0-2. I don't know, what are you gonna do? The Rams have a first-round draft pick. This is news. This hasn't been seen in quite some time. This is must-see TV right here. What on earth am I looking at? Alright, pick is in. Rams pick is in at 19. All right. I like Amarius Mims for Cincinnati, man. I think that's a good pick. I think if they can fine-tune him, get him really mold him into a good player. He's definitely got the physical traits. I mean, he's almost 6'8". He's a massive human. Honestly, if Byron Murphy was still on the board, I could absolutely see the Rams drafting Byron Murphy here. You just lost one of the greatest defensive players of all time in Aaron Donald to retirement. So, obviously he's not on the board, but if he was on the board, I think that's your best shot in this draft at replacing him, is getting a guy like Byron Murphy. However, we shall see what they do in reality. Overall, I mean, they made the playoffs last year. I don't really know what the Rams do. I could definitely see them going D-tackle to try and at least somewhat plug the hole that Aaron Donald left. There's a lot of different things they could do. They're one of those, like, teams that are good but not, like, Super Bowl contender good. So it's interesting. Let's see what they do. Jared Verse, okay. Yeah. They do go D-line. They go Jared Verse. They do have Kobe Turner, who's played well for them. But yeah, it's hard to fill that hole left by Aaron Donald. There's not a whole lot you can really do. Again, if Byron Murphy was available here, I think that would have been a good pick, but obviously the Seahawks grabbed him. I think it's a fine pick. Build up that, try to build up that D-line now that Aaron Donald is retired. And now the Steelers are on the clock. This is interesting. Obviously, they signed Russell Wilson. They signed Justin Fields. They traded Kenny Pickett. Last year, they drafted Broderick Jones, number 10 over... Number 10? They drafted Broderick Jones. I remember that. They could go for another tackle to try and shore up that offensive line. They no longer have Deontay Johnson, They could go wide receiver. They could go for a Troy Franklin or somebody like that. Obviously, it's not going to be a quarterback. Could this be a defensive back? I mean, you've got Minkah Fitzpatrick. Could this be a corner? Don't they have Cam Sutton? Didn't they sign Cam Sutton? I don't remember. Like last year or something? I'm not sure. I could see them going tackle. I could see them going receiver. I could see them going... I can honestly see them going D-line. Get somebody to help out TJ Watt. And I could also see them going... DB, specifically corner. We'll see. And then after them, it's Miami. Alright, pick is in. Pick is in at 20 for the Steelers. Miami is on the clock. Then Philly, then Jacksonville, who traded down with Minnesota. And then Dallas at number 24. Our boy DD said, anybody who can pass block. That's what he wanted. And considering they lost Tyron Smith in the offseason, I don't think tackle is a bad pick for Dallas at 24 at all, by any means. Then Green Bay at 25, Tampa at 26. Arizona, they have the Texans. The Texans would be picking there, but obviously they traded up for Will Anderson last year, so that is now Arizona. So, Arizona has a chance to have a very nice first round with Marvin Harrison and whoever they take at, 27? I don't remember. They cut the commercial. And I think there will definitely be some good players there for them. Like the no DBs yet. No DBs have gone yet, and there's some very solid DBs in this draft. There's some good offensive linemen still on the board. I doubt they would go receiver again, but there are a couple solid, late first round grade receivers still on the board if they wanted to go that route. I doubt they would, but it's possible, I suppose, if they really wanted to give Kyler weapons. 275,000 fans attending the draft in person. That's crazy talk, dude. Imagine standing there for 4 hours. That'd be crazy. Yeah, the Cardinals are 27. Buffalo, Detroit, Baltimore, San Fran, KC after that. Okay. So, obviously it's not a quarterback for Pittsburgh. I think any of the positions I mentioned before would be understandable. Somebody in the front seven to help out TJ Watt. Somebody in the secondary to help out Minkah. Somebody on the offensive line to help Najee and protect Wilson and Fields. Wide receiver to replace Deontay Johnson. Might be a little early for a receiver, but being a little early for X, Y, or Z hasn't stopped anybody tonight. Oh, yeah, Chop Robinson. I forgot about Chop Robinson. Jerjon Newton's still out there, too. Adonai Mitchell. Yeah. All right. So I thought Tanu. Okay. Good pick. They do go tackle. I think that's fair. They just brought 2 new quarterbacks in. They've got Najee, who people are realizing doesn't actually suck. That's a fine pick. I don't mind that at all. Miami is up next. Tua has had some concussion concerns. I wouldn't be shocked to see them go offensive line. If they don't, thinking about their secondary, they have Jalen Ramsey. They no longer have Xavier Howard. Jalen Ramsey is getting older. They could go defensive back. There's a lot of different places they could go. I don't think they go wide receiver, obviously. You got Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill. I don't think they go wide receiver. And obviously they're not going to go with a quarterback. Beyond that, I think almost anything else is kind of on the table. I mean, I doubt nobody's going to take a running back in the first round. I don't see any running back jumping into the first round. That's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people out there. Pick is in for the Dolphins at 21. Will we see a DB go at long last? Will we get another tackle? There's still another guy or two out there that I saw like first round projected. I believe so anyway. Let me check. PFF mock drafts. I don't want to be spoiled, but I want to see who's left. Alright, pick is not in yet. Nice. So, you've still got Graham Barton, although they're projecting him to play inside. I could have sworn there was at least one more tackle that was Tyler Guyton, that's who I was thinking of. Okay. Yeah, you can see a lot of these top guys remaining, according to PFF here, are DBs. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Terry and Arnold. Kool-Aid McKinstry's probably down here. So yeah, Kool-Aid McKinstry. I forgot about Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins is still there. Jackson Powers Johnson, Adonai Mitchell, Brian Thomas, Troy Franklin. I saw some people projecting. I'm trying to find him here. I saw some people project. Is he not on this page, or did I just miss him? I might have just missed him. There was somebody who projected Xavier Worthy to be go at 31 to Sanford. I don't know about that. I know people were freaking out, because he broke the combine speed record and everything, but I don't know. I mean, not every team in the NFL is the Raiders, I was going to eat dinner, but I guess I'm no longer eating dinner. Maybe I'll have a bowl of ramen or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll get DoorDash. I don't know. I've got some more work I'd like to get done before I go to bed, but this has been nice. I've enjoyed reacting to the draft. Although I am now realizing how long the draft really is. But hey, no, I'm having fun. I'm just chilling. There's not a whole lot of pressure on me. I'm kind of just sitting here watching, reacting, giving my thoughts. It's nice. I don't mind this. I know that we haven't had a lot of activity in stream, but that's okay. I understand this is not really the type of content I normally put out, so that's totally understandable. All right. Miami and then Philadelphia. They got some people singing, performing on stage between picks. That's neat. Looking at Daniel Jeremiah's best available. Terry Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, Brian Thomas, Chop Robinson, Graham Barton, Cooper DeJean, Jajon Newton, Tyler Guyton, Adonai Mitchell, Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, a lot of those same guys we can see on PFF. Be interested to see what the Dolphins do here. There's not a particular position that I'm they should really go there versus something else. PFF says their top needs a tight end. I don't know if there's a tight end worth taking right now. I mean, obviously, Brock Bowers is gone. He went to the Raiders, so there was no way Brock Bowers was going to fall this far anyway. So I'm interested to see what Miami does. I don't think they'll go wide receiver, and obviously they're not going to go quarterback. Or at least I'd be surprised if they went wide receiver. I mean, if they wanted to give Tua another weapon, that's fine enough, I guess. But I just feel like they've got plenty of weapons already. All right, Kamish. What's it gonna be? Interested to see what Jacksonville does at 23 as well, because they traded down. Chop Robinson. Okay. That's great. They cut to the camera in his house. He just goes, "We'll go to Miami." That's sick. I love the energy these guys have been showing tonight, man. I love that. I love the energy. All right, Chop Robinson from Penn State. Okay. I think that's a fair pick. I say that because I couldn't tell you who the Dolphins' defensive ends are. I mean, they do have Bradley Chubb, do they not? But he's been, injured. So, when he plays up to potential, he's good. It's just he hasn't been on the field all that much. He had that problem when he was in Denver, and that's kind of transferred over. They've lost a lot of their what used to be their linebacking core. Like Andrew Van Ginkel and guys like that are gone. So I don't hate it. I mean, they have Javon Holland and guys like that in the secondary as well. So I guess the secondary is not their biggest need per se, but okay. Now not Jacksonville. Philly's on the clock. Jacksonville's after them. I'm going to use the restroom. I may miss the next pick. I will try not to though. Alright, we are back. Looks like I only missed one pick. And that pick was Quinyon Mitchell. Okay. The first DB. Look at how many teams this pick has been with. Started with Cleveland, then went to Houston. Houston traded it to Minnesota. Minnesota traded it to Jacksonville. That's crazy. Alright. So Quinyon Mitchell is the first corner taken. Jacksonville. What would Jacksonville be doing here? I could see them going wide receiver. I could see them going with a Troy Franklin or a Brian Thomas, or it'd be a little early for an Adonai Mitchell, but I don't know. I could see them drafting a wide receiver. Alright, here we go. 23, Jacksonville. They go Brian Thomas. They did go wide receiver. I was right. Okay. I think that makes a lot of sense considering they lost Calvin Ridley. 4.33 speed. I did not know he was that fast. He also went to LSU, huh? A lot of, like I said, LSU is just this wide receiver factory, man. Now it's dem boys on the clock at 24. Then Green Bay, then Tampa Bay. Oh, they signed Gabe Davis. I forgot. It's a nice wide receiver room. There's a Cowboys fan with a poster of Jerry Jones with a big, like, the circle with the line through it. It says sell the team at the top. That's funny. First team in NFL history with 12 plus wins and 3 straight seasons without a conference championship appearance. Have not reached the NFC Championship since 1995. They are just cooking the Cowboys. Absolutely cooking the Cowboys. Minute left on the clock for Dallas at 24. Because the added this offseason like slide, and it's just Eric Kendricks. Lost Tony Pollard, lost Michael Gallup, lost Tyron Smith, lost Tyler Biadasz. Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler was on the Cowboys? Okay. They added one guy. And lost Whoa! The Lions traded up to 24. The Lions trade up from 29 to 24. This is gonna get interesting. And the pick is in for the Lions. Alright, they showed the details. They traded 29 and a third for 24 and a seventh next year. They're making fun of the bad call from last year. Guy didn't report as eligible, but he actually did report as eligible. That's funny. Where are the Lions gonna go? They don't really need to do anything on offense. Like, their offense is solid. They did just give Penei Sewell a massive extension. Yeah, they don't really have a whole lot to change on offense. I mean, they could go corner. Ooh, that's cool. That's really cool. Probably secondary. Obviously, they've got Aiden Hutchinson. I see them maybe going secondary here. They did lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles in free agency. I don't know if they'll explicitly go safety, but they could definitely. I would lean towards them going secondary. Probably a corner. They signed Kevin Zeitler in free agency. I did not know that. And then obviously DJ Reader as well. Huh? Maybe they made more moves than I thought they did. I don't know. Now I'm interested. Let's see what they do. They signed a couple corners in free agency. Let's see what they do here. All right, let's see. Terrion Arnold. Okay. They do go corner. Terrion Arnold from Alabama. Okay, that's very interesting. Just trying to think, like, would all of Arnold's, McKinstry, Quinyon Mitchell... No, Quinyon Mitchell's gone, my bad. Who am I thinking of? Cooper DeJean. Would all of them have been gone by 29? Maybe they just really like Terrion Arnold specifically. Interesting pick, without a doubt. I think it's a good one, though. Green Bay, Tampa, Arizona, Buffalo, Dallas now at 29, Baltimore, San Francisco, and Kansas City. So we've got 8 more picks. Everyone's very happy about the pick in the war room. What's Green Bay gonna do? It's very interesting to think. They could. Did they just sign a tackle? Or were they? No, they were. I'm sorry. I watched Tom Grassi. He's a Packers fan. They need to. They were thinking about replacing. Or he wanted them to replace David Bakhtiari in this draft. Probably a tackle, if I had to guess. I would guess that this is going to be a tackle for Green Bay. They did just lose David Bakhtiari. Yeah, I'd guess tackle for Green Bay. I'm sure that's what... Actually, let me check in on Tom Grassi. Let's see how he's doing. Ooh, actually, I want to watch this first. Brandon Perna reacts to the Broncos drafting Bo Nix. Picks in for Green Bay. Alright, here comes Raja. I predict tackle. Yep, Jordan Morgan. Okay. They did go tackle. They went Jordan Morgan from Arizona. Makes sense. Bakhtiari. They just released Bakhtiari. No real surprises there. They went tackle. Who's in for Cincinnati? Amarius Mims from Georgia. Big 6'8" offensive tackle. Tampa Bay now on the clock at 26. Then Arizona, Buffalo, and Dallas Cowboys. Pick is already in for Tampa Bay. That's crazy, man. Can't believe the Falcons. It seems like I wasn't missing something, by the way. It seems like everyone else is also freaking out about Penix at 8. That's crazy. You don't give Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed and then go draft another quarterback. And if you are going to draft another quarterback, don't draft a 23-year-old quarterback. Draft a guy who's like 21. Because whoever it is, they're going to be sitting behind Kirk Cousins regardless. So you may as well draft a guy who's younger and has more time to develop. Whatever. I don't get it. Still don't get the Vikings trading up from 11 to 10 because the Jets were, I don't think, going to take a quarterback. And then the Broncos took Penix at 12 after trading for Zach Wilson. Why trade for Zach Wilson if you were just going to take a quarterback? Like, are you trying to get some kind of quarterback competition? Like, what? I don't fully get that. Like, if you were going to trade for Wilson, I mean, I guess they didn't give up that much. They might be like, okay, we'll have him as a backup. If anything, he showed he's not a capable backup last year. If anything, he showed he is not a capable backup. So no matter how much you gave up for him, like, why? Go sign a free agent. Like, I don't know. Because I feel like if you trade for Zach Wilson, you're trading for Zach Wilson because you feel like you can make Zach Wilson better. Okay. Bucks. What are the Bucks gonna do? They got Tristan Wirfs on the O-line. They could go Jackson Powers Johnson. Have they replaced anybody on the interior since Ryan Jensen retired? I don't know. Not sure what the Bucks do. They could get Baker another weapon and go with Troy Franklin or Adonai Mitchell. Two years, 41 mil. Pretty hefty extension for Mike Evans. I mean, he's earned it. He's hasn't had a non 1,000 yard season in his career. That's pretty freaking impressive. So he's definitely earned it. It's just a lot of money for a receiver. You gotta get older. They drafted Kalijah Cansey last year. They've got Vita Vea at D tackle. So they probably won't go D line. I think they did lose Devin White in free agency. So I suppose if they wanted to go inside linebacker? I don't know. Might be a little early for that, though. Here comes the commish. Let's see what they do. Number 26, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Graham Barton. Okay, so they do go interior offensive line. Just not the guy I mentioned. So Graham Barton is listed as a tackle on PFF. But there's been speculation that he was going to move inside to O guard or center. Yeah, like I said, Ryan Jensen retired last offseason, I think. Something like that. And they've got a guy here who can replace him, protect Baker Mayfield. I think that's a fine pick. Pick is in for Arizona at 27. Then Buffalo, Dallas, Baltimore, San Francisco, Kansas City. And we are done with the first round. Still quite a bit. It's 10 minutes per pick. So, we've still got quite a bit of time. But so Arizona, they took Marvin Harrison. Could they potentially take a tackle here to go on the opposite side of Paris Johnson? Could they go Jackson Powers Johnson? Could they go secondary? I don't know. Let's see. Darius Robinson. Okay, edge rusher. Don't they have, who'd they take a couple years ago? Like 2021. No, it wasn't Jamin Davis. Jalen Phillips was Miami. They took an edge rusher, or a linebacker. It wasn't Jalen Phillips, was it? Zaven Collins, that's who it was. So they've got Zaven Collins, but he's more of a, I guess, a coverage guy. Run stopper? I don't know. I don't know enough about him. But they go edge, which is interesting. Wasn't really ranked as best available, but if it's a position to need, it's a position to need. Now the Bills. I would not at all be shocked if this is Troy Franklin. Or Adonai Mitchell. Or, a wide receiver of some kind. Because they lost Gabe Davis last offseason, right? Or was that this offseason? I don't know. They traded Stephon Diggs to the Texans. I think this is going to be a wide receiver for Buffalo. It's got to be. With all the receiving talent they've lost. It's got to be a wide receiver. And then the Cowboys, again, they could go tackle. They could go... I keep forgetting the guy's name. The guy from Alabama. Guy from Alabama here. Tyler Guyton. They could go Tyler Guyton. I'm kind of leaning in that direction for the Cowboys. I'm leaning towards Buffalo takes a Troy Franklin and Adonai Mitchell, somebody like that. Dallas maybe goes Tyler Guyton. And then Baltimore, they did just lose Geno Stone in free agency, so maybe they go secondary. Whoa! Chiefs are on the clock. What happened? Hold on. It just flashed and said the Chiefs are on the clock. Did they trade up? Hold on. Nothing's showing yet on the overlay. But the Chiefs may have just traded up. They did! The Chiefs traded up with the Bills. Who would they be going for? They could also be on the hunt for a wide receiver, now that I think about it. They did sign Hollywood Brown, but Kadarius Toney and MVS were awful last year. They did release MVS, I'm pretty sure. The Chiefs traded up. Okay. They could also go with a wide receiver. I wouldn't be super surprised if they also went for a wide receiver. What else could they do now? Pick is in. Whatever it is, it's in. They could go go for a L'Jarius Sneed replacement as well. They did lose L'Jarius Sneed, so they could go corner. Because they did trade him away. So I think either of those is likely. They could take a receiver. They could take a corner to replace L'Jarius Sneed. So any other big losses they had? Not off the top of my head. And then I still think Dallas goes Tyler Guyton at 29. Baltimore could go secondary. They could also go wide receiver, maybe? They did have Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers played well, but they had Nelson Aguilar and Odell Beckham Jr. last year. So that's another team that could go wide receiver. And then San Francisco, I don't know. I really don't know what San Fran does. But yeah, let's see what the Chiefs do. And then Buffalo could obviously still go wide receiver at 32. Because let's see, you've got Troy Franklin, you've got Adonai Mitchell, you've probably got one or two other guys near that end of first round area. Or if they wanted to reach, if they wanted to take a shot at Xavier Worthy or something. I don't know. But this is interesting. Because they traded up 4 spots. So whoever this is, they think they're going to get taken within the next couple of picks, if not directly by Buffalo. That kind of makes me think this is going to be a wide receiver, unless they have a specific corner in mind. Because there's still a few of the highly rated corners left. So they either have a specific corner that they're eyeing up, or they want to grab a receiver before Buffalo and possibly Baltimore. I could see that as well. I do want to see the trade details. What'd they give up? And what'd they get back? I would guess maybe like a 4th or a 5th they gave up. And maybe got back like a 7th or something. Oh, look! They're showing the Draft Tracker website on the screen. And there we are. They're right where we are right now, chat. Alright. Number 28, they traded up from 32. My guess is it's a wide receiver. But it could be a Charvarius Ward plays for the Niners. L'Jarius Sneed. Could be a L'Jarius Sneed replacement as well. One of those two would be my guess. And then Dallas, I think Tyler Guyton makes the most sense. If they do go Tyler Guyton, Scooter Magruder is going to be very happy. And then Baltimore, again, I think, similar to the Chiefs, I think they could go secondary, or they could go wide receiver. And San Fran, I don't know. All right, let's see. Go on, Justin. Whoa! Oh, shoot! Wow! Xavier Worthy. That is shocking. The only thing I can see is they're trying to find a Tyreek Hill replacement. So they're getting an absolute burner. I did not see that coming. I would have thought it would have been Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell. Wow. Xavier Worthy. He did go first round after all. That's crazy. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Yeah, that's your not saying he's gonna be Tyreek Hill, but that's their attempt at a Tyreek Hill replacement. Pick is in for Dallas at 29. I'm just gonna say it. If he doesn't run the 4-2-1, he does not go first round. With that being said, that could be dangerous. That could be really dangerous. If he can convert that 4-2-1 speed to, like, legitimate route running, that could be dangerous. Alright, pick is in for Dallas at 29. Again, I'm sticking with my guns. I think it's going to be Tyler Guyton. Just makes too much sense. They lose Tyron Smith to the Jets in the offseason. I think it just makes too much sense. And then Baltimore, I think, is another team that could go wide receiver. Let's see what Dallas does. Yep. Tyler Guyton, I was right. That's just one you could see coming. He's the best tackle left on the board, at least according to a lot of people. I think that's a fit you could just see. He's huge too. He's just as tall as Amarius Mims. He's big, 6'7" and 3/4. That's just that's a pick he could see coming. You know, with the tackles that were left. Losing Tyron Smith, that's not a surprise at all. And now we move to Baltimore at 30. Again, I think they could go wide receiver here to give another guy to Lamar on top of Zay Flowers. Do they still have one? Give him a 3-year deal, right? I think they still do have Odell. I don't know how much of an impact player he's going to be as he continues to get older. I think wide receiver is definitely on the table. I think secondary is on the table. Pick is in for Baltimore at 30. San Fran now on the clock at 31, and then Buffalo, who traded down, at 32. Baltimore, according to what I'm looking at right now, had the best defense in the NFL last season. They did lose Geno Stone in free agency. Seem to be pretty happy in the war room. So whoever they got, see Blake Corum on their board. It's interesting. I forgot about Kyle Hamilton. Okay. I predict either wide receiver or DB. That is my prediction. Either wide receiver, an Adonai Mitchell, a Troy Franklin, somebody like that. Or a DB, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Cooper DeJean, somebody like that. And then we'll see. I think at this point it's kind of a... You either need a wide receiver or a corner, or you don't. Because those are kind of the positions of best available at this point. Alright. Kamish is out. Let's see. Nate Wiggins. Okay. Yeah, don't know why his name didn't come up when I was thinking of cornerbacks, but they do go DB. Nate Wiggins from Clemson. He ran in the 4.2s at the combine, and he didn't run again. He wanted to run again. But he pulled his groin or something. But yeah, Nate Wiggins, that's a fine pick at DB. Yeah, that's on me. I should have had him in my list. Yeah, for sure. That's a fine pick. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Team him up with Kyle Hamilton. That's a nice secondary. Got the Ravens at, yeah. That's kind of sick. Alright, San Fran on the clock at 31. They could do a lot of things. Heck, they could draft a wide receiver if they're planning on trading away Brandon Ayuk. They could take an Adonai Mitchell. Actually, I kind of like the fit of Adonai Mitchell. If they do plan on trading... they do plan on trading Brandon Ayuk. Be interested to see where they go. I could definitely see them going wide receiver and then trying to trade Brendan Ayuk. I could also see them going secondary. I could also see them go like interior offensive line. Trent Williams has things locked up on the perimeter. I could see them going with like a Jackson Powers Johnson or something like that. They did lose Javon Kinlaw in free agency. They lost Eric Armstead too, didn't they? They could go interior D line here actually. They lost Eric Armstead. They lost guy they drafted a couple years. I just said his freaking name. Whatever. Yeah, they lost him. They could go interior D line. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if they went D line, interior D line specifically. Javon Kinlaw. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, D-line would make some sense. Is the pick in? Is the question. Yep, pick is in. All right, 49ers. Let's see. Refresh the page here. There we go. Bills on the clock at 32. See what San Francisco does at 31. I can see receiver. I can see D line. Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver out of Florida. So they do go wide receiver. Not the name I was expecting. I don't know a whole lot about this guy. I don't really have a lot to say. I don't know a whole lot about Ricky Pearsall. But here we are at 32 with the Bills. To me, this screams for San Francisco. We're trading Brandon Ayuk. Buffalo could also go wide receiver. Would not be surprised. In fact, I think they probably will because of how much they've lost in that department. Gabe Davis gone. Hold on. Carolina traded up. Whoa! They traded up one spot. $33 to $32. They've got to be grabbing a receiver. They have to be. What'd they give up? They have to be taking a wide receiver. They gave up 33 and 141. They got back 200 from Buffalo. Okay. That's honestly fairly even, I think. They gotta be taking a wide receiver. They have to be. They gotta have their eyes on somebody, and they were worried Buffalo was going to take him. It's gotta be a receiver. In my eyes, anyway, else why would you trade up? Because that's like one of Buffalo's biggest needs. Pick is in. Pick is in at 32. Carolina trades up one spot, 33 to 32. They get back a 6. They give up a 5. Because the only way that I think it makes sense for you to trade up is if you're going to get somebody you think Buffalo's going to take. They're talking offensive line on the broadcast, but I don't know. I mean, Buffalo did lose Mitch Morse. They could go Jackson Powers Johnson, I guess. I guess Buffalo could have been targeting Jackson Powers Johnson. And that's where Carolina could be going. I forgot they lost Mitch Morse. That could be the pick. All right, here he comes. I'm thinking it's either wide receiver or Jackson Powers Johnson. That's the only way the trade up makes sense. Xavier Legette from South Carolina. They do go wide receiver. Buffalo is in prime position to take Jackson Powers Johnson or a wide receiver of their choice tomorrow. I'm just thinking of guys that are still left. You've got Ladd McConkey. You've got Troy Franklin. Adonai Mitchell's still there. So they've got their pick of the bunch if they choose to go wide receiver. They could also go Jackson Powers Johnson. I completely forgot that they lost Mitch Morse. So yeah, that's totally a possibility. Alright, not too many major surprises in terms of the players drafted in the first round. Nobody, maybe Xavier Worthy. Maybe a couple of the later wide receivers. But, it was more so, who was picking where. Let's show the players themselves, I guess. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. And that will conclude this stream. We've been going for almost 4 hours. I was going to get some homework done in between picks, and that did not happen. So, very eventful first round. Good amount of trades, good amount of surprises. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. I cannot promise that I'll be back tomorrow. Because even though it's only 7 minutes per pick, I can't promise I'm doing 2 rounds tomorrow. I can't do that. So this will probably be as far as I go in terms of draft coverage. But I appreciate those of you who came and hung out. It means a lot. I am going to sign off, get some work done, and get some sleep. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And I will hopefully be back soon, possibly tomorrow night, with some more gaming stuff. Since tomorrow's Friday night, I figure it might be a nice night to stream. Actually, I might be going to like a party tomorrow. Or less of a party, more of like a gathering. We'll see. I think I will go to that though, so maybe not tomorrow night, but maybe Saturday. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to be all from me. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Have a good night. And always remember, Jesus loves you. Peace.